Hi and welcome to Michelle Sews. Today I'm taking part in Friday Sews for the first time. So Friday Sews was introduced by Jen of Today in Jen's Sewing Room. I will link her account below. And essentially it's like a good catch up with sewing friends on a Friday. So lots of sewing YouTubers are talking about what they've been up to, what their plans are, just a bit of, sewing chat basically. So I thought I would this week just ease back into things with a Friday Sews video, and then next week I've got some filming planned on some of the fitting, grading and flat pattern adjustments content that we have been speaking about recently. So what have I been up to? Well, yesterday I released another sewing pattern. So the last few weeks I've been sort of furiously running around in the background towards making that happen. So that ended up taking a lot of my time because I kind of have to piece that in around the rest of my life. That really was the biggest blocker to my sitting down to do some of the videos that I had planned. The pattern is out. It was released yesterday to a bit of fanfare on Instagram, and I've really just enjoyed catching up on all the comments and people's stories and posts around the Effie Shirt Dress. So this is the pattern. It's basically a straight cut below the knee shirt dress. It's been in the works for some time and I really like it. I've got a few versions already for myself. I'm looking forward to seeing some more versions posted. I know there's some more in the pipeline, but enough of that because I'm not here to plug my pattern, just to explain what I've been doing instead of making YouTube videos. What have I been up to aside from that over the last few weeks? Well, I attended a course at Alison Smith's School of Sewing a few weeks ago, and that is the Inner Corselet course. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have caught a couple of stories that I did about the course at the time, but I thought I would mention it here as well. So I can go into a bit more detail, and also so it's there for posterity and I can keep pointing people towards this wonderful course. So the course is all about the inner corselet, which is this. So it's this structure that you can have inside a strapless gown or other sorts of garment that really give you that extra support for the body, like having a corset built into your dress. So the course is a 2-day course. It cost £290 at the time that I booked it, and it was based in the town of Ashby de la Zouch. I always have to pay attention to get it out correctly. Really lovely sort of, historic market town, very picturesque and quaint, with very nice people. Alison Smith, she runs the School of Sewing and has done for a number of years, where she teaches different courses. She has written textbooks on sewing, reference books that you might have. I think that one I've got is the sewing book, and it's literally like a big compendium of all the techniques that you might need. Really good. I refer to that book quite a lot and I do like it. So this course was about the corselet, obviously. On the first day we built or assembled the corselet itself, from sort of the foam for the cups and various types and strengths of net. So you had power net and you had a rigid net for the cups and parts of the bridge, sort of the rest of the corset. We did the channels for the boning, we inserted the boning, and we finished off all the edges nicely with the picot elastic trim. And on the second day we made the sample of the outer dress. So that is, sorry if you can hear my stomach rumbling, that is the outer layer of the satin with a foundation layer of cotton lawn, and that foundation layer had some additional boning inserted into channels on that piece too. And then you had the inner lining layer. And on the the afternoon of the second day, we then sort of put everything together. So actually mounting the corselet into the gown bodice. So we made this sample. This is the sample of the sort of top part of the dress from the outside. Lovely sort of princess theme or panelled bodice. and inside you have the corselet itself. These are the foam cups, and you have boning here and here. You have underwire in this channel here, and then on the inside of that, I flip this out, on the dress structure itself, so you have the lining layer, and you have the layer of lawn, which has got the additional boning here and interfacing down to a point, down to the waistline in fact, just to give that extra support. And then you have, I'm struggling to open it one-handed now, you have the satin, which also had some extra interfacing support built into it. So it's something that I've always wanted to learn how to do, and probably could have pieced it together from reference books and so on, and maybe spent a couple of days just sort of experimenting. But for me, it was well worth the time and the money and the travel to go to this course and really just sit down, have the 2 days dedicated, learn how to do it, and have this sample to take away for reference. And I think the finishing on the inside is just lovely. Obviously we haven't finished the centre back edge where you would insert a zip on the garment itself, but the corselet at the centre back fastens up with hook and eye tape like that, so you've got that support on the inside before you even zip up your dress. Everybody made the same size. We all work from the same pattern pieces, so it's not one of those courses where you might be fitting the corselet or the dress to yourself, although I think Alison said that she does have a separate course on corsets where you do kind of come away with a pattern for you and a corset that fits you. But yeah, this course was really good. There were 4 of us attending, and it was in a nice spacious room with big windows which were partially open for ventilation. We were well sort of socially distanced within the room, and we wore masks in the sort of common areas. So there was a room with pressing stations set up, so if you were going to sort of do your fusing or pressing, you would put your mask on to go into that room, where we also had teas and coffees and sort of snacks. So masks for the common spaces. The shop downstairs, the shop downstairs was amazing. So their website is sewardrobe.co.uk. I think I'll link that below, and you can buy all the supplies there as well as your sort of normal dressmaking fabrics. So there's just such a wide range of fabrics. Naturally, I did some fabric shopping while I was there. It'd be rude not to, really. And you can buy all of that online as well. And you get a discount. If you're attending a course, you get a discount that applies to all your purchases in the shop as well. Alison is a great teacher. She said she started off her career sort of teaching sewing in schools when it was on the curriculum, and then has just sort of been teaching ever since. She's been awarded an MBE by Her Majesty the Queen for, I think, services to sewing and tuition. So she really knows her stuff. She knows how to teach and make sure that everybody is on the same page, and that we all came away with a really good understanding of what we were doing and would all feel confident. I think, speaking for myself, I feel confident to do this again. So all in all, 2 thumbs up. I really rate this course, and I think everybody who's interested and has the means to do it should definitely go and do it. I will be attending a course at the School of Sewing again later this year, again on sort of bridal wear / formal wear techniques, because as much as I love sewing for the office, I have all these gowns in my head, and I think I'd like to try one, but I'd like to do it really well, do it properly, because I know I don't have the time or reasons to make 50 wonderful party dresses, so I'm going to make just what I need, but really put everything into making them wonderful. And I'm also, friends and family ask me to make things for them. I do end up making things for other people too, so I'd like to make sure that I make those to the best of my ability too. That is why I go on courses like this, where there are specific techniques that I'm interested in picking up. I think you can learn a lot as a self-taught sewist. I mean, most of my sewing has been from books and the internet. My sewing learning has been from books and the internet, but every now and then I go on specific courses to acquire specific skills, and I haven't done one yet that I wouldn't recommend. I think they're well worth doing. So I'm actually also partway through an online course in tailoring. I'm enjoying that so far. Now it's a skirts course, and I have made umpteen pencil skirts. I actually have a pencil skirt pattern, the Agnes skirt, which I have personally made about 12 times. I think I have about 12 of them, and I would still make more. So I love a good pencil skirt. What drew me to this course is really I was just curious to learn about the sort of more traditional tailoring techniques in making a pencil skirt. And it has not been a disappointment so far. So I'm not always one, in fact, I'm not often one to slow down and use the couture methods that are more time intensive. But I don't know, maybe because of the pandemic and lockdown and everything, I, like a lot of people, have a little less sojo these days. I probably have had a bit more time on my hands, but maybe less desire to actually sit down and start something. So I feel like I'm in a phase where I'm quite happy to just practice techniques, learn new skills, and take my time with projects. So like I say, although I can make a pencil skirt and a pencil skirt that I'm perfectly happy with, I'm also really enjoying just learning and practicing some of those more traditional techniques. I'll tell you about that maybe, yeah, I'll see if I can film as I'm doing part of the next skirt and tell you a bit more about that one. Anyway, that's probably enough about courses. What am I planning to do the next time I sit down to sew? Well, I feel like I've mentioned, you know, I'll do this next time I sit down to sew so many times over the past couple of months, and yet I haven't actually done just a personal sewing project still. So the plans are always evolving. But I have acquired some lovely fabrics lately. Not too many, actually. I'm doing pretty well at not going mad on fabric shopping. But I thought I'd show you a few of those. So first up is this lovely, this is my favorite shade of green. It's a lovely sort of olive green viscose with black dots all over it. I got this from Lush Fabrics, which is a new to me fabric store, but she's got such a lovely selection of such a lovely selection of fabrics, colours, prints, just lovely. I bought a few pieces from her, and I keep going back to sort of look at the website and then telling myself off. So I'm not buying any more anytime soon, but this colourway is sold out, but I think there's an ivory version and also one with like dashes instead of dots, and lots of other lovely fabrics. So Lush, oh gosh, is it Lush Cloth or Lush Fabric? I will check and I'll put the right link down below, but really lovely. I'm thinking of a dress for this. I just like the idea of something, a midi length, flowy dress. So yeah, I haven't picked the pattern yet, but that's what I have in mind. And I might even have enough left to do a blouse as well. We shall see. Next, I got this embroidered linen, sort of like a broderie anglaise type of fabric. I got it from Pigeon Wishes shops, but I really love this, and I think what the most immediate plan I have for it is some sort of full skirt, maybe like a tiered skirt. And again, I thought about filming that as like a tutorial, but I think there's so many tutorials on how to do a circle skirt and a tiered skirt that I had to think about what I would be adding if I did that. And actually, I think maybe it's a bit more about some of the finishing on the inside. So techniques for maybe like a bound waistband, or nice finishing touches that make it look really nice on the inside. So yeah, still thinking about that. I got this maybe a couple of months ago, and I had thought I would do like a summer tiered sundress sort of situation. I've missed the boat on that. We are now going into October in the UK, so God knows when I'll see sunshine again. So I will probably do a tiered skirt, because at least I can wear that in the winter with, maybe with this jumper actually, just a nice cream or ivory jumper and some boots. Another one that I might have missed the boat on. This is one of the fabrics I picked up at Sew Wardrobe when I went in for the course, and it's a plissé sort of pleated fabric. It's a polyester, but it's you know, it's a nice quality polyester. Alison always picks nice quality ones. So if nothing else, it's user-friendly, low maintenance, bung it in the washing machine kind of vibe. And I thought just a simple pleated midi skirt for this one. I actually bought, I didn't bring it, but they had an elastic that was almost exactly this sort of grey-green colour. So yeah, I'm thinking super quick, elastic bound waist, no fastenings, midi length, should be nice and quick to do, but I haven't done it yet. And lastly, I got this wool from Croft Mill, and it is beautiful. I think it's one of the British milled wools. So it's quite sturdy, lovely weight and body to it, a lovely sort of aquamarine colour. And this is going to be a pencil skirt. This is actually the one I'm going to cut today for the tailoring, you know, sort of traditional tailoring techniques course that I'm doing. So I'm looking forward to that pencil skirt. Anyway, I've been rambling on for a while, and you've probably had to listen to my poor stomach rumbling because for some reason I decided to do this instead of going to have breakfast. I'm definitely not going to be able to do Friday sews every week, but I think it's nice to do from time to time just to see what I enjoy watching other people's videos, to see what they're getting up to and what they've got planned. So I will do this from time to time. Next week I am back to filming the content that I had actually planned for the last few weeks. So I know a few people have asked for a video on how to grade between sizes. So I'm going to do that, and particularly where you're sort of going up and then down a size, and on different sort of pattern pieces, so like more complex garments. So I'm going to have a rummage around in my pattern stash for a few different examples and put together a video on that. And also I think I will do kind of a primer on different flat pattern adjustment and drafting techniques, so things like the slash and spread or pivot methods, dart manipulation, truing of darts, truing of seams. So depending on where you are in your journey, that may be stuff that you are already familiar with, but I think it's helpful for me going forwards to have explained all of that up front, so that when I get to the videos that are actually about fitting and adjustments, and I say we're going to slash and spread and insert an inch, people will know what I'm talking about, and if they don't, I can refer them to those videos. So bear with me if you're just here for the like more advanced side of those things, but I think it's just helpful to kind of lay the foundation. So that's kind of where the next few of my videos are going. Yeah, that's been a lot. Happy Friday, have a great weekend, and I hope you if you want to, are able to fit in some sewing time. And if not, like me, you know, when I don't have time to sew, I just spend a lot of time daydreaming and planning and thinking about what I will sew one day eventually when I can sit down and do that. So whatever you're doing with your weekend, I hope you have a good one, and I hope to see you here again soon. Take care, bye.